North Korea, a highly repressive nation, is shrouded in military control, making it difficult to grasp the true state of affairs between the government and its people. While its widely known nuclear weapons arsenal captures attention, much remains hidden behind the scenes. As a totalitarian regime, North Korea compels citizens to flee, with many risking their lives in the escape. Some succeed, while others face unfortunate outcomes. Here are 5 of the most incredible escapes from North Korea, the world's most repressive country. Number 5. Song Biok. The story of Song Biok can be said saddening and also motivating. Song Biok and his father had initially tried crossing the Two Men River in 2000, but his father drowned as they crossed through. Due to the famine in North Korea at the time, they just couldn't stand it, so they waded into the water to find ways to get food, but he and his father were from a town further inland, and they had no idea about the river level, but they had to cross it anyway. As they began the journey, Biok took off his clothes and tied them to a rope to hold them together. Then he told his father never to let go. As he approached the middle of the river, the strap felt lighter only for him to look back and see his father drifting away. Biok tried to save him by alerting the North Korean guards to come help him, but they didn't listen. Instead, they handcuffed Biok to torture him. He was jailed for 4 months in Cheongjin prison camp. After Biok was released from camp, his determination took straight to defecting, which he did successfully. Number 4. No Kumsok. No Kumsok is one of the most surprising defections done by an official in the military. No Kumsok is a Korean-American engineer and aviator that served as a senior lieutenant in the Korean People's Army and Anti-Air Force during the Korean War. During the tribulations of the Korean War, No Kumsok applied to be an officer in the Korean People's Navy. He was accepted after he lied in the selection test. He lied about not having any experience, but still found help in the form of his history teacher, who guided No Kumsok in the pilot selection test. No Kumsok asked the test, and shortly after passing the selection test, he was promoted to the rank of ensign. He was also brought to Manchuria for flight training, and he quickly rose to the ranks of lieutenant and then to senior lieutenant. He flew more than 100 combat missions during the Korean War. No Kumsok defection from North Korea happened on the morning of September the 21st, 1953, when he flew his Mikoyan Gervich MiG-15 from Sunan, just outside Pyongyang, to Kimpo Air Base in South Korea. The time from takeoff in North Korea to touchdown in South Korea was 17 minutes, with the MiG reaching 1,000 kilometers per hour. During the flight, North Korean aircraft did not chase him as they could not catch up with him. He was also not intercepted by American air or ground forces because the US radar near Kimpo had been shut down temporarily that morning for routine maintenance. Just in time for Joe's defection. Fortunately for No, he landed the runway on the runway, almost hitting an F-86 Saberjet landing in the process from the opposite direction. It turned out to be double luck for No Kumsok, because if he had landed the aircraft in the right direction, he would have been spotted and shot down immediately. Happy with his escape, No Kumsok drove the MiG aircraft into a free parking spot between 2 Saberjets, jumped out of the plane, and began tearing up a picture of Kim Il-sung that was placed in the cockpits of North Korean aircraft, and then flung up his arms in surrender at the approaching security guards in the airbase to reaffirm that he meant no harm. Number 3. Park Hyun-woo. The story of the Park family is an entirely different dimension compared to others. 26-year-old Park Hyun-woo, his father had been constantly pressured by the North Korean military since his mother and sister left. Since then, father and son had been continuously threatened and harassed by military officers. However, Things like that can only be endured for a while with the father and son getting sick. So, on the night of February the 7th, 2017, 26-year-old Park Hyun-woo, his father decided to leave their home in the North Hamgyong province of North Korea for good. They didn't intend to raise any eyebrows that could lead to alarms, so they left home at different intervals to avoid suspicions. After leaving their house separately, they planned to meet later at night, which they did at the semi-frozen Chuman River, a river that borders China-North Korea. Park Hyun-woo and his father and his family were not suffering in any way. As a matter of fact, they were living a very comfortable life with no troubles by North Korean standards. Even though both father and son worked the railway, 26-year-old Park Hyun-woo and his father were always sent money by the rest of the family through a secret network, so they were comfortable. Anyways, they began making their trip with a flash drive with all the pictures of all the information they couldn't take along with them. The duo also had a small part of rat poison wrapped in plastic and placed in their mouths in case they were discovered. With those two with them, both father and son got to business, and they began making their way across the icy water as they crossed the water in search of freedom. That trip was not as easy as they thought it would be, or is it easy as it sounds, because as they walked, their wet clothes began to freeze, but they kept going. They eventually crossed the border, and on getting to the Chinese side of the river, one of their sisters had been waiting for their arrival. Once united, the three snuck under a fence and took a waiting van to a safe house. It was at the safe house that Park Hae and Woo and his father burned their clothes and buried their North Korean leader lapel pins. Good riddance to bad rubbish after all. Number 2. Kim Ryun-hui. Kim Ryun-hui is one of the patriots that North Korea has. It is rare to see some escape from North Korea and also see them want to return to the country willingly. Her saga started when she went to China for some treatment in 2011, and she was surprised to see that there was no free healthcare. To pay her bills, she started to take up a few jobs till she met a broker that smuggled North Koreans to the south and assured her that she could get more money in South Korea and be able to return and pay. Just as Kim Ryun, we stepped into Seoul, she was ready to leave Seoul and find her way back to North Korea. Her decision is not a facade, as it caused a lot of sensation among the media and even officials. North Korea has asked for her return, and South Korea is very skeptical of such a decision out of fear that she will try to travel back to North Korea through China. Kim Ryun-hui, whose main concern for the past 7 years has been trying to reunite with her daughter and husband in Pyongyang, and she's been trying all means to get her wishes by speaking on talks. She also sends petitions to the United Nations telling them that she is a stranger trapped in another man's land. Number 1. Whole family escaping. At times, it's proper to search for greener pastures if there is no hope left. The earlier statement is about why a South Korean Navy ship discovered a 5-ton wooden boat carrying 22 North Korean defectors across the West Sea. They were seen from some 38 kilometers south with a northern limit line, the de facto maritime border, and 41 kilometers west of Dacheon Island. The 12 male and 10 female defectors included 8 children, including 3 under 10, according to a South Korean security official when he was analysing their information. But to cross that bridge with that much water is just amazing. Only a few North Koreans dared to escape across the sea because they must be ready to be adrift. According to the Unification Ministry, 112 North Koreans fled from the seaport of Nampo and 334 from South Gyeonghae Province, which borders the West Sea, by late last year. They're counted for a mere 2% of all 21,294 defectors would have gotten to South Korea as of April this year, North Koreans still continue to defect, and we will continue to update each incredible escape. Of all the ones you watched today, which ones caught your attention? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.